Hi everyone, I'm really excited to see you all again today. Got a pile of old dusty DVDs just lying around in the corner? Don't rush to throw them away. In this video, I'm going to show you how to magically bring them back to life. They're about to become super useful in your daily life. And hey, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's dive in. Watch the video, give it a try yourself, and don't forget to share your creations with me. I'm going to take a hex head bolt and thread it through the hole I just drilled. You can also use a similar fastener, like a hex nut or a carriage bolt, depending on what you have on hand. Just make sure it fits snugly through the hole for a secure hold. You can find DVDs at thrift stores, garage sales, or even at home collecting dust in old boxes or drawers. Sometimes local libraries or community centers give them away for free or sell them cheaply. This here is a spark plug, a small but powerful component that plays a crucial role in igniting the fuel inside an engine. Now, I'm going to thread it right through the center hole of the DVD. Next, I'll secure the spark plug in place using hot glue. This strong adhesive will hold it firmly so it doesn't move around, giving your project stability and durability. Next, I'll secure the spark plug in place using hot glue. This strong adhesive will hold it firmly so it doesn't move around, giving your project stability and durability. That's right, it's an electrolysis setup. I'll keep going so you can start picturing it in your mind. Tin, when used as a sacrificial metal, gradually corrodes or dissolves during electrolysis. This happens because it reacts in place of other materials, protecting them from damage. I'm going to coil it into a long spring shape, so it's easy to work with and fits neatly into the setup. This shape also increases the surface area, which can make the electrolysis process more efficient. I'll add a small hook at the end so it can easily connect the spark plug, ensuring a secure and reliable attachment during the experiment. Now, let's move on to preparing a short piece of electrical wire. This will be used to make the necessary connections in our setup, ensuring that the current flows exactly where we need it. Carefully strip away the outer insulation of the wire, removing all the protective coating until only the shiny copper strands inside are visible. This bare copper will serve as a conductive path for electricity, ensuring we get a clean, strong connection for our electrolysis setup. Make sure to keep the strands intact so the wire remains flexible and easy to work with. Next, I'm going to attach the copper wire to the hex head bolt, making sure it's wrapped tightly and securely. The copper wire will make it much easier to connect to any object you want to run electrolysis on, giving you flexibility and convenience when working with different materials. Next, I'll hook the tin coil onto the spark plug, making sure it's firmly in place so it stays connected throughout the electrolysis process. For this power lead, I'll attach alligator clips to both ends of the wire. These clips make it quick and easy to connect and disconnect from the power source in the setup, while also ensuring a firm, stable grip during the electrolysis process. They ensure a solid electrical connection, prevent the wire from slipping off during operation, and make it easy to swap or reposition parts when needed. Perfect for quick testing and adjustments in a DIY electrolysis setup. We'll prepare the wire for the negative terminal. This lead will carry the current from the power source to the cathode, playing a crucial role in completing the electrical circuit for our electrolysis setup. I'm going to prepare a plastic cup to use as a container for the electrolysis process. Next, I'll pour water into the plastic cup, filling it to a suitable level so our electrodes will be fully submerged. This will serve as a base for our electrolyte solution. I'll add spoonfuls of salt into the water. The salt will dissolve and increase the water's conductivity, allowing electricity to flow more easily between the electrodes and making the electrolysis process much more effective. I've got a soldering iron here, and you can see the tip has turned dark from frequent use. That blackened tip is a thin layer of oxidation and burnt flux, which often builds up after multiple soldering jobs. It's a sign this tool has seen plenty of work, but with a quick clean, it'll be ready to deliver precise heat for our next project. Next, I'll attach the soldering tip to our electrolysis setup, repurposing it as one of the electrodes. Its metal surface will conduct electricity into the solution, allowing it to play an active role in the reaction. I'll connect it to the copper wire, making sure the connection is tight and secure so electricity flows smoothly from the power source into the soldering tip during the electrolysis process. This motorcycle battery typically delivers around 12 volts of direct current, which is strong enough to power the electrolysis reaction efficiently while still being manageable for a small-scale DIY experiment. To connect it to the power source, I'll clip the negative lead with a blue alligator clip to the soldering tip electrode and the positive lead with the red alligator clip to the hex head bolt that's linked to our tin coil. When the current flows through the saltwater solution, it splits the dissolved substances into ions that move toward opposite electrodes. At the positive electrode anode, chloride ions from the salt release chlorine gas, while the negative electrode cathode, hydrogen gas bubbles form as water molecules are reduced. Meanwhile, the tin coil slowly dissolves because it's acting as a sacrificial metal, releasing tin ions into the solution. While the electrolysis is still running, I'll use this angle grinder to turn the DVD into a completely different tool. This way, we can work on two projects at once and make full use of our time and materials. I won't be using coarse sandpaper for this. Instead, I'll go with a very fine grit. That way, once the soldering tip finishes its electrolysis treatment, I can gently clean the outer surface, removing oxidation without scratching the metal and leaving it smooth and shiny. I'll be using 2000 grit sandpaper. Next, I'll measure to make sure it's a perfect fit with the DVD, so everything lines up accurately and works as intended in the final tool. I'll cut along the guideline I've already marked, making sure to follow it closely. So the final piece has clean, accurate lines that match the intended design. I'll attach it securely to the DVD using strong adhesive, pressing it firmly in place so it bonds well and stays fixed during use. Next, I'll mount the DVD onto the angle grinder, tightening it firmly so it's stable and centered. This ensures it spins smoothly and safely when we power up the tool. Now, let's get back to the soldering tip, which has just finished the electrolysis process. I'll remove it from the setup and get ready for the next step in restoring and cleaning it. The dirt and oxidation have been reduced quite a bit, but the outer surface is still dark, with that stubborn black layer clinging to the metal. Now, I'll move on to the final step to get it completely clean, restoring the metal surface so it looks fresh and ready for use again. I'll use this angle grinder to clean it up, gently grinding away the remaining blackened layer until the metal surface is shiny and smooth, making the soldering tip look almost like new. With the grinder spinning at high speed, I'll gently press the soldering tip against the abrasive surface, moving it back and forth in short, controlled strokes. Tiny sparks flicker as the last layer of black oxidation is shaved away. Within seconds, a dull, dark exterior gives way to a smooth, lustrous surface, revealing the warm golden tone of the copper beneath, clean, reflective, and ready to conduct heat efficiently once again. Now, I'll reattach the freshly cleaned tip back onto the soldering iron, tightening it securely so it sits firmly in place and is ready for the next soldering job. When I test it with solder, the tip heats up quickly and evenly, melting the tin almost instantly upon contact. The solder flows smoothly and clings to the surface without beating up, showing that the tip's conductivity and heat transfer are back to peak performance, perfect for precise, clean solder joints. As a freshly tinned soldering tip touches the exposed copper wire, the solder melts instantly, flowing into the strands and coating them evenly. A thin, shiny layer forms around the wire, binding the strands together while maintaining flexibility. The joint looks smooth, with no excess blobs or gaps, ensuring a strong electrical connection that's ready for any DIY project. The solder joint on the electrical wire is neat and compact, with a glossy silver finish that completely covers the exposed copper strands. It's firmly bonded, with no cracks, cold spots, or excess solder hanging off. The connection feels solid to the touch, promising reliable conductivity and durability, even if the wire is bent or moved during use. And that wraps up today's project. We restored a worn soldering tip with the help of electrolysis, polished it back to a like-new shine, and put it to the test by making clean, strong solder joints on electrical wires. Along the way, we also made creative use of an old DVD, proving once again that with a bit of ingenuity, everyday items can be given a second life. If you enjoyed this build, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so you won't miss the next round of fun and practical DIY ideas.